Good evening. So tonight's topic is mainly focused around the reopening plan, but before we get into that, I want to just cover a few things that's going on. Today was the Orange County Health Coalition meeting, which right now we're doing them all by Zoom, so that's pretty cool. If there's anyone else that are interested in learning about that and possibly taking part, just shoot our page a message, and we'll get you in touch with Rosina, which is the system care coordinator. Um, so one of the things that came up today was the community produce package program that Lots River Market is doing. As some of you know, Lost River Market's been a good community partner with us with the care dinner that we ended up turning into the take and bake back in March. Um, so it's community produce package is a it's a really cool cooking class. You learn about nutrition. You get a box of food with recipes. There's online part on Facebook. So if you're not on Facebook and watching this on YouTube, you might want to get a Facebook page to take part in that part. But the the thing will have one last group, I think, in August that's still got open spots. The one in July is full. It's August or September. They still have some open spots in. And I gotta say, it's been a pretty good class, even though the turkey tacos were pretty hot last week. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow. So it's something to look forward to each week when you take part in that. And the best part is that they've gotten funding to help pay for it. So it's a free class to learn about healthy eating and try new foods that you haven't tried before. So if you would like more information about that, you can head over to Lost River Market Facebook page, or you can send us a message and we'll help get you in contact with Brandon over there that's helping coordinate that. Along with the Orange County Health Coalition, they are just wrapping up their mental health survey that we had asked you all to help us with. And so as soon as I see that the Health Coalition posts that, we'll share that on our page. But it's pretty interesting information. A lot of it that the providers in the area already knew, but now we have the data to back up what we believed or that they believed. That's really interesting. Um, some areas that really amazed me though were the connection between how many people feel like there's a need for the services, and really it's mainly getting over the stigmatism on mental health for children. Along with that, though, I'd love to see the schools get involved with that side of it because behaviors in school does translate into grades. And there is a whole section in Article 7, emotional disturbances, that depending on where their emotional state is, that could really be affecting their education at that time. And I hate to say it this way, but for schools, you receive additional funding if you do provide them these services. So that might be a good partnership between the schools and the mental health care providers to help get these kids quick assistance early and get the intervention started where they just need a couple of accommodations to help overcome their challenges they're going through, whether it be loss of family member and they're going through depression, many other challenges. And schools would receive that additional funding for having IEP services being provided. So hopefully we'll see things develop in our area relatively quickly, but we'll see how that develops over the next year. Um, okay, so getting into the reopening plans. Springs Valley, thank you for going ahead and posting yours publicly. You're going to be voting on it, I believe, next week. So I do thank the superintendent for posting it publicly. Really, the only thing that, from my area of reviewing it, is that I'd just really love to see special education included. Um, Indiana's document that they released outlining what these plans need to have actually did include special education. And at the end of that appendix, that for special education, there's actually a list of things that they want in the plan as the minimum amount. I know that that's all just recommendations, but I'd love to see special education acknowledged in these plans. Acknowledge sports, transportation. Special education is an important program for a lot of children. A lot of school districts around here were running anywhere from, I want to say, 14% to, at one school district, 24% of the student population receiving some form of special education services within the region that we're monitoring. So that's a pretty size of your population base. And a lot of things they're asking you just to put down is how you're going to make sure that qualified personnel are covering the special education rooms, which is required. and how you're going to make sure that these needs are met. Um, the only thing in Springs Valley that I'm concerned about was the part about resource room being live streamed. To me, that's not equal for the special education students. Their general education students are getting the opportunity to be in person with their teacher. The students that are receiving special education services need that same equal ability. That's really the main things that I'm concerned about. Paoli and Orleans, I haven't been able to find their reopening plan publicly posted yet. I do know that most of the schools are really planning towards this month to get their plans in front of the school boards and approved. West Washington, they have a reopening plan at a glance. They're not going to share their full document or draft of their document yet until it's voted on by their school board members. A little concerning. Hopefully, someone knows Claude Combs or some of the school board members over there. You'll reach out to them, tag them in this, message them about this. Would just like to be able to take a look and see and make sure there's no IDEA, Individuals with Disability Education Act, FAPE, Free Appropriate Public Education, the areas of special education are going to be stepped on in terms of these students' rights and the parents' rights. Um, over at Salem did not release theirs yet that I've been able to find, and Eastern did release theirs. There's no special education section in there, but there was no real concerning wording outside of not having a special education section. There was nothing that clearly set boundaries for special education students and not general education. So it sounds like they're going across the board for every student at least in their plan. Mitchell Community Schools, you have a letter out, one-page letter from your superintendent, and I believe that they're waiting as well to release theirs after their school board reviews it. Northwest Community Schools, your plan is already posted on your school's website, and it's interesting to read because it's got columns, and my dyslexia goes crazy trying to read it. But there's no special education section as well, and I'm trying to make my way through that document, trying to see if there's anything that specifies special education students only compared to general education. I think that basically sums it up. If you want to see some amazing reopening plans, look up Corydon Central. I think it's Corydon's Harrison County South is a school district, and Clarksville Community Schools. They both had special education at least acknowledged in theirs. So that was really nice to see those. I haven't got a chance to fully read their whole documents, but at least they did acknowledge special education. And if you hear the kiddos in the background, I'm inside the house, so sorry. So these plans, though, as you might have seen, President Trump a couple days ago released some comments that schools are going to reopen this fall, possibly some funding restrictions based off of how these schools do. The CDC, apparently 2 days ago, yesterday, was saying they're going to release some new updated guidance. Today, they're saying it's not going to be an updated guidelines or guidance, but it's going to be a resource aid for schools to make their plans and to make sure it meets the needs of students. So that's in a nutshell why. Not going into too much detail yet. Hopefully, end of July, beginning of August, before school starts, we'll do an episode going over these plans and looking over them after they're approved. Any areas of violations aren't truly violations until they're approved by the school board right now. They're just and even after they're approved by the school board, there are written policy that might be infringing on the students' rights, but we'll still need to know from families when it happens. There is processes that can be followed depending on what the violations are. There is OTR, Office of Civil Rights. There is a big push nationally between a bunch of advocates, organizations around the country that it's going to seem like that they're really pushing for zero tolerance this year. If there's violations, they want to be reported. Luckily, we are a freestanding agency. We want to try to be ambassadors with the schools, but we also have some schools that have made it very clear that they're not really wanting our assistance and trying to look at special education. So we'll be taking each situation one case at a time and making plans to address them at that time. Let me just see if we got any messages here. There's no messages yet. I do thank you for taking your time to watch this evening. Really, the amount of information that we can provide is keep an eye open on your school's websites. We have set up a website, and when we find the reopening plans posted, we are putting them there as the school's name and a link under the school. So you can click on that and go straight to your school district. Or if you want to take a look at a couple other school districts, you can see what their plans are. Um, we have heard that some of the schools are afraid parents are going to do school shopping based off of these. So really remember, you can advocate at your school districts, your school board meetings. Those are going to be an important place to go and let the school board know what your feelings are. And also, please do remind the school board they're voted to protect our children of our community. They're not employees of the school district. They're voted on by our community members. They are voted on to watch over our children, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and to make sure that the school system is working for them, not the children are bringing money in for the school. And that leads me into a comment that the Secretary of Education for the United States had made, that we need to be making the decisions for the children and not for the school system. We need to be doing what's best for them right now. I think if there's anything else right this minute, but unfortunately the plans are all fluid documents, which are stressed. We have some superintendents that have made comments on Facebook that if you're medically fragile, that they want you to do virtual learning. Please remember you have Article 7 in the state of Indiana and IDEA on the federal level. The school responsibility under the case conference committee is to make a plan for that student to meet their individual needs. You don't have to automatically choose virtual learning. There's homebound education. There's looking over what the plans are for those classrooms and deciding as a team what's best for your child. It kind of seems like some of those are wanting to streamline, trying to push the families right into virtual learning and not really looking over everything for the child. So I'm going to hop off here. It's only been about 15 minutes on. We have no questions. And unfortunately, the plans are not really there yet. So this is Patrick Underwood, Board President for Community Inclusion Ambassadors, with our Thursday night CIA Live and a little bit of check-in. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks we'll have more information on what these reopening plans are for our schools and them being voted in and more of a solid document so that you can understand what your commitment is to your school district. Thank you and have a good night.